Today, we're going to look at the neurology behind making your first or your next million and why it seems that just a rare few can actually make it to millionaire. We will also look at how I've been able to change my clients' actual neurology so that making money, and lots of it, is much easier. To make, to save, and to invest money is easy. But if you don't have the mindset, it's not hard, but for most, it's impossible. Now, if you're thinking making your first or your next million is just a process, you're only 5% there, because 95% of the game of wealth is actually mindset. Because the how of wealth creation is the simplest part, but the mindset of wealth is immensely complex and it's confusing almost everyone. Today, we explore the mindset of wealth and how I got the title of Brain Untrainer. My name is Rick Schnabel and I'm a Brain Untrainer. What's a Brain Untrainer? It's simple, really. We all have beliefs, patterns, and programs that determine what you can and what you cannot do. These cause issues such as anxiety, procrastination, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, failure, fatigue, overwhelm, and even money issues, to name a few. Well, I untrain my clients' brains to help them to change these programs. Back in 2004, I stumbled upon a new and unique set of techniques that helped me to master how to untrain mindset patterns. You know, those habits that, the ones that are difficult to locate or change because they're so deep within our brain that they're untraceable. Neural programs cannot be discovered, even with the latest equipment available today. But I discovered how. After learning an intriguing set of principles, I helped a client with multiple sclerosis, or MS as it's known. While I have never worked with someone with MS before, we were both willing to give my new techniques a try, and frankly, we were amazed. After 5 sessions, my client became completely free of his symptoms of MS, and now, 15 years later, he's healthy, happy, and still symptom-free. MS, still today, is supposed to be incurable. My client who had MS was the man that gave me the title of Brain Untrainer, and it stuck. Since then, I've helped thousands of people overcome everything from anxiety to depression, and I've also coached my clients to get beyond their limiting beliefs, and as a result, they earn more money than ever before. Did you know that your income earning potential is held prisoner by your very beliefs? Why is that? And more so, why do we find it so hard to get beyond our problems and issues? After almost 2 decades of brain untraining, to call it coaching is a bit of an understatement, because what I do is a blend of coaching, mentoring, neuro-linguistic programming, and techniques that I myself have designed. So it's much more than mere coaching. It's untraining your brain of the programs that stop you from achieving success. To untrain your brain, you first have to understand that you're actually working with not one, but 4 people all inside of your brain. Yes, it's quite crowded in that brain of yours. So who are these 4 people? Let's start with the you that you're most familiar with. It's the you that's watching this video right now. I call that part of you the politician. Why the politician? Well, I guess it's because it says all the right things, but seems to do little more than it did yesterday. Psychologists call this part of your brain the conscious. However, it's only responsible for 3 to 5% of what you do or don't do. So the question is, who is controlling the majority of your behaviors? That's a very good question. Some of your actions are controlled by your subconscious. When you access the subconscious, it recalls all that you have learned, read, experienced, and the function of your subconscious is to store and retrieve data. I call that part of you the librarian. Now, the librarian will only give you what you have done before. So if you've ever ridden a bike, the librarian has a book on how you did that. So you can do it again and again and again and again. The librarian, however, will only give you what you already know, what you have already done, and nothing new. So if the politician wants to do something new, it won't achieve it with just the librarian. So who's the one really steering your ship? Who is the one that is responsible for almost everything you think and do? Well, I call them the driver. The driver is like the software programs of your brain. The driver, like software, will only do what they're programmed to do and literally nothing more. Psychologists call the driver the unconscious, and it's responsible for breathing you, blinking you, circulating your blood, and all bodily functions, particularly those that you're completely unconscious of. If you've ever wondered why you never got rich, even though you have the potential or even know how, your driver isn't programmed to go there. And all the books and all the courses won't get you there either. Is this making sense to you? So everything you do automatically, without even consciously being aware of it, is due to your driver. Your driver has got the keys to your car and both hands on the wheel at most times. In fact, even accidents are no accidents when you understand how the brain works. Your driver tells you when it's time to sleep, eat, listen, learn, breathe, and be who you decided you are. This is why we find it hard to actually change. Your unconscious must ensure that your identity remains true to all you know you are, and it steers your life away from all you are not. So when someone says investment and taking risks is a key to wealth, and you nod but do nothing about it, it's because you're programmed to do nothing about it. Because your current identity does not match a wealth identity. And now you're consciously or unconsciously justifying all the non-wealth behaviors, such as, if I become wealthy, my friends won't like me, or I'll become a target of thieves and beggars, or I'll have to move because my neighbors won't like the car I drive. This makes so much sense why even lottery winners lose it all. According to multiple studies, about 70% of all lottery winners end up going broke and filing for bankruptcy. Their unconscious behaviors don't match their millions, and so they squander their riches. To obtain the type of financial independence you've been dreaming of about all your life, you must learn to develop a millionaire mindset. Thomas Stanley and William Danko in The Millionaire Next Door explained that the most wealthy people and self-made millionaires drive used cars. They live in average neighborhoods wear average priced clothes and watches and are very careful with their money. While I've seen people who think they're on the way to riches, they start spending it all to make other people admire them. The old money call these people the nouveau or the nouvelle rich and tend to see them as wannabes. Truly wealthy people develop the habit of getting rich slow rather than getting rich quick. To assure this, they have 2 rules. Rule number 1, don't lose money. Rule number 2, if ever you feel tempted, refer back to rule number 1. If you want to improve your wealth or any area of your life, you need to build thinking patterns that mirror action patterns. In other words, you need to create a congruence between your dreams and your actual activities. By the way, this is a $40 watch I got as a gift for joining Wishlist. I think I had to pay $4 postage for it. Now, I don't drive a prestige car. I don't look rich. I rarely sound rich. If there's such a thing, I don't care what people think of me. It's none of my business anyway. But I do care about my brain, and I look after my driver mostly. I feed it with good thoughts and good food. So why would you want to untrain your brain? Well, you know how when you want to do something, but for some reason you just can't, that's because the driver, ultimately, it determines who you will become. It determines how strong you will be by setting exercise thresholds or exercise thresholds. It will determine how rich or poor you'll be by predicting how much you spend, how much you earn, and how much you invest. Your driver even determines your weight by telling you how much to eat, when to eat, and why to eat. If you think your driver, your unconscious, has control over you, you are 100% right. What I do is I untrain the driver of its limiting and debilitating programs to help you to get more of what you want from life. Let me explain how I have successfully helped clients who have been stifled by their anxiety. And unlike what most people think, my clients are actually highly successful executives and business owners that are functioning adults. But their anxiety is causing them to avoid taking their companies or their businesses to the next level because they're anxious about being judged, fearful of taking risks, or being called out as frauds. You'd be surprised how many highly successful people think that they're frauds. To untrain a brain, you have to know what program is causing the issue and how to undo its causal program. For example, I no longer believe that anxiety is a mental illness. It's a mental condition that can be rectified. It's just lots and lots of conditioning. To understand this, you have to understand how the program began in the first instance. Anxiety is often caused by an event that shocked or, created intense fear in the individual. The event is experienced by the politician and often initiates shock to protect the politician from the pain of the trauma by handing it downstairs to the librarian to shelve the pain. The librarian stores it as a memory, so the politician will avoid any event that resembles anything like the traumatic event, so it just doesn't happen again. For example, if we experienced a car accident, our librarian can install a book in our subconscious called, veophobia, which is essentially a fear of driving. So that will ensure we don't experience the trauma again, and it's only a problem if we want to drive a car. However, if we drive taxis or cars for a living, we're in big trouble. A phobia or fear, therefore, is just an alarm system. It actually has a purpose. Its purpose is to protect us, to shield us from pain. Now, if we want to change the program, we start at the library first. So we go in there first and rewrite the book. But ultimately, we have to work with the driver and give him or her new instructions and directions. Otherwise, the program will not go away until we change that program. Another example is the fear of losing money. So, chromatophobia or chromatophobia. The words chromatophobia and chromatophobia originate from the Greek chromato, meaning money, and phobos, meaning deep aversion, dread, or fear. And it's much more common than you might imagine. To create wealth in your life, you need to love money, not fear money. You need to have a reason for it in your life, and it needs to be an integral part of your life. But I haven't mentioned the fourth person, and that I would like to call the soul. In the game of creating wealth, for example, you have to have a bigger reason to get bigger results. You have to truly have a need for more to create more. Think about this in any money-making adventure, even a job. We have a financial need, and so we work to meet that financial need. If you want more, your needs need to increase, not your wants. Your soul needs a bigger purpose. It needs a bigger mission, because reasons get results. Create a bigger reason that serves your soul. Your reason needs to actually feel real. Have a purpose. You'll notice that most billionaires have a purpose that's bigger than them. For example, when Bill Gates said, "I want a computer on every desk and in every home," he served his soul. No wonder he was the richest man in the world for over a decade. Did he take risks? Yes. Did he have to do more to become more? Yes. Did he have to untrain his brain? Yes. So if you want more, you have to do the inner work to improve your outer reality. You can't truly change without changing your unconscious programs. Your driver needs to change. And the only way you can truly do that is by altering your neural programs, and that's something that I specialize in doing. Since 2004, I've been helping people just like you to think richer, wealthier thoughts. If you're serious about achieving your goals and making your mindset match your millions, then let me help you. I promise you it's a different way to think, and might just be the best investment that you've ever made, because you get to keep your new thinking for the rest and for the best of your life. I remember working with a gentleman called Vladimir Platil. I challenged his limited concepts of what was possible in the context of wealth. And he said, "Rick is a genius in the mind space. He helped me to double my income." What he didn't share in his testimonial is that I helped him to do that in our first coaching session. I did some brain untraining and a lot of training and coaching and mentoring with another lady by the name of Nada Wenzel. Within 7 days after our work together ended, she picked up a $600,000 contract and went on to make millions. I helped Warren Fraser to write his first book and go on to change his career altogether and get on a talkback radio show. And he said Rick's ability to turn dreams into reality is a gift rarely seen. It's not a gift. I worked long and hard to learn how to untrain people's brains. I create programs that became pivotal points in a person's history. A man I deeply respect who became a world-class speaker and is the chairman of B1G1, Mr. Paul Dunn, said, anyone who meets Rick for the first time will, like me, remember the meeting as a pivotal point in their lives or business. If you want a bigger life, a richer one, or one without fear or issues, your mission, should you choose to accept it, schedule a call to see how I can help you to create a life beyond limits. I'll put a link below where you can get into my diary and schedule a call. And of course, the call's on me. And by the way, please, I don't bite. My name is Rick Schnabel, and it's time to live a life beyond limits. I hope we'll chat soon. Oh, and by the way, this message will self-destruct in 10 seconds.